Hello everybody, welcome back to What's Culture Wrestling. I am Gareth. It is a Sunday, so you know exactly what that means. It means you're just stuck with me, and I'm going to talk to you about all the news that we've had break over the last night. And without further ado, the first thing we're going to talk about is there's been a new stipulation added to a match that is going down at SummerSlam. It is the WWE debut of Dominic Mysterio. He's taking on Seth Rollins, that dastardly Seth Rollins who beat him up with a kendo stick. Left some serious marks on that young boy. It just battered his stomach and his back. It was graphic, but it was also kind of cool, which I think makes me a bit weird. But yeah, never mind. The stipulation that has been added, this was in a WWE press release that's been announced today or last night. They've said that, and this is quoting, said, at SummerSlam, Dominic Mysterio will compete in his first WWE match against one of the greatest and most depraved superstars of the modern era in Seth Rollins, and it will not just be any regular contest. It will be a street fight. So now we've got a hair versus hair match. That's over on SmackDown with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. And then we've got a street fight over on Raw between Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio, which does make sense because it's been quite weapon heavy and a lot of extreme stuff has been happening in this feud over the last, how many months now at this point. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. I pray that Dominic Mysterio doesn't end up with any more welts because the boy can only take so much. It's his first match. Just don't be cruel to the lad. But I'm looking forward to this. Let me know what you think of that. The new stipulation that's been added to SummerSlam there in this match. And moving on. Right, so we're keeping in the WWE vein of things at this point. We're going to talk about a few more details that have been announced in regards to the agreement that WWE have with the Amway Center. Obviously, if you know now, you've been watching over the last couple of days, they've started to mobilize and move all their operations to the Amway Center out of the Performance Center. They love the centers, WWE. But according to John Albert of My News 13, it's been pretty much said here, the word is on the grapevine, that a rep from the city of Orlando tells him, and My News 13, that WWE has a use agreement with Amway Center through October 30th, with no fans present in the building. And then it went on to say, so barring an amendment in the agreement, no live fans through October, but WWE gets arena access for all events through then. So just to dissect that a little bit, it's looking like they've got this arena now till the end of October, but at this moment in time, they have no right really to bring fans in. So there won't be fans in the arena based on the agreement that they have right now. They won't have live fans necessarily. There's been word of having these virtual fans and all the rest of it, which could be cool, but it could be disastrous, which again is just as fun and hilarious, and I would still be deeply entertained by that. I think this is really, really interesting because it's the fact that WWE aren't seeing this necessarily as a super long-term thing. I mean, it's 2 months, 2.5 months maybe at a push. So hopefully they'll try and amend it and try and get it to a point if the world's looking like fans can return, they've got that flexibility where they could perhaps change it. But at this moment in time, it's looking like for the duration of the Amway Center tenure that they're going to have, live fans will not be present. So yeah, that's definitely intriguing. But of course, WWE is still airing from the Performance Center at this moment in time. Obviously, SmackDown, that happened on Friday. My days are just jumbled at this point. So that SmackDown still happened in the Performance Center. And I know what you want to know. You come here on a Sunday for it. You want to know. You want to talk about the ratings. We love talking about the SmackDown ratings. And did they go up? Did they go down? It was like a slight up. It was like a very slight, I think it was technically a 0.9% increase based on the overnight ratings. Obviously, the official ratings will drop on Monday. So according to Showbuzz Daily, SmackDown drew an average of 1.979 million viewers overnight. And they also scored a 0.5 in the always super vitally important 18 to 49 demographic, which was yet again number 1 for the evening. So that's a good sign for SmackDown on Fox that they've smashed that 18 to 49 demographic 2 weeks in a row there. They've been top of the heap for the evening at least. I mean, not going down. I think not going down as long as the reviews, the ratings don't drop substantially, like from week to week. I think that's success in a little bit. Just keeping steady, just treading water on the road to SummerSlam. You'd like to see a bit of an increase because next week I think we've got Jeff Hardy against AJ Styles for the IC title, and it's literally the go-home show to SummerSlam. So you'd like to think the ratings will probably go up, but I don't know. If Braun Strowman doesn't get people on board, nothing will. Yeah, I probably should have said this before the news, but it's a very WWE heavy news today, so I don't know. If you came here for AEW or New Japan stuff, I'm sorry to disappoint. But yeah, the next thing we're going to talk about is all about WWE filing a trademark for an old familiar show moniker. So this is quite, if you're like me and you actually love these old nostalgic shows and just looking at the logos enough to be like, yeah, take my money. WWE have actually, I think this is on the 11th of August, it says that WWE filed a trademark for Saturday night's main event. Oh, it's coming back. That was obviously the name of the program that ran in the late 80s, early 90s, and then it briefly came back in the 2000s, like mid-2000s for a bit. I actually quite like that, and not a lot of people really rate it as much as the old ones, but I quite liked it. And before this is what's quite interesting. Before this, prior to obviously the current situation that's going on right now, WWE had sent out a survey to fans asking what different content they wanted to be brought onto the WWE network. And then one of the options, which was quite peculiar, was having Saturday house shows that were filmed and branded under the Saturday night's main events like banner, which would have been quite cool. I would have been all about that because it's just something a bit extra. It's a bit more of an incentive to get the WWE network, I guess. But obviously at this moment right now, house shows, they're not happening for a while. They're on ice permanently, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. It's going to be a while. It's not. I don't think they've had a Saturday night's main event since, 2008? So it's been a while. If they did it as like an NXT thing, like we've had in your house recently, the Great American Bash, if they did something in that vein, I could see that working. I just quite like watching WWE shows on a Saturday, really. It's another day of wrestling. We can't get enough, can we? And of course, if you want to see the full trademark details, Wrestling News have got those online, so I think they've typed them up. It's very, very long. I'd be here for about a week, so nobody wants that. So we'll just move on. And in more WWE news, you just love it. The WWE just keeps on coming. Beth Phoenix, she turned up on the After the Bell podcast recently, and that's obviously the one with Corey Graves, where he talks with stars of the future, the present, and the past. And they give nice insights into their lives, what they were thinking at certain points in their career. And that's exactly what Beth did here. She talked about specifically why she retired in 2012. A lot of people seem to think that she did retire in her prime, which, yeah, I'd probably say she did. Like, if you see every time she comes back, she still looks awesome. She can still go in the ring. But this is her quote of explaining exactly why she decided to make that decision. She said, "Both of my grandparents and my one and only uncle that I was very close to passed from cancer very suddenly. So I had 3 family members pass away in about a year, and I missed funerals. I missed being there. I was starting to get exhausted with the road schedule. It had been 12 years since I'd been traveling as an indie wrestler, and I missed out a lot of stuff. I hit some roadblocks, I shed tears over hoping that I didn't waste my life. I really wanted to make a change to inspire little girls like Chyna inspired me and Bret and Owen Hart inspired me. I was afraid I wasted all that." We'll get into that because she definitely didn't waste a thing. Beth, you were awesome. And then she went, "At that point in my life, I also had met a very nice man, and he was in a state of mind, and he had been told that he had to retire from wrestling and never do it again. So he was wrapping his head around that. I was wrapping my head around a lot of change in my life, and I thought maybe I was ready to start a family. That was mainly why I stepped away." I think this is really interesting because it was one of those things when she did just retire in 2012. A lot of people were like, "Whoa, where are you going? You're one of the top women in the company." Now you can see that wrestling is a career where it demands so much of you. It demands so much of your time, and if you've got family and personal stuff going on, like deaths in the family, just awful things, just that you want to be there for. You want to be there for the rest of your family. Wrestling does sort of get in the way sometimes, so it's really nice to see being this honest and talking about it and just being open with it. And it's really interesting to see that her and Edge, at that point in their lives, they were both going through a lot of things and they probably needed each other, and it blossomed into what we see today, where they seem like a lovely couple and they've got the kids and everything else. But Beth, you did not waste a thing. You inspired loads of people all around the world, and now she's just absolutely smashing it on NXT as well. So, yeah, go Beth! Right, we've got a fun. I don't really do these normally on a Sunday, but we're going to do one of those and finally Sunday news things where it's like a send off with a nice little quirky little thing. Randy Orton, not a name that you normally tend to associate with fun little quirky things, but bear with me. He sent a warning to his SummerSlam opponent, WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. He did this on social media. He did this via TikTok. Yep, that's the generation we're in right now. He shared this video of, go and check it out if you can, it's on his Instagram, but he shared 2 videos, our video of these 2 figures. He had like a Randy Orton figure, a Drew McIntyre figure, and it had like a Frozen chain, like, I don't know what it is, like a Frozen adapted song thing. Very surreal. And yeah, he was like pinning Drew McIntyre with his toy version of himself, and then he pinned him, and then put like a tiny little plastic WWE title over his shoulder, and then the camera panned up, and he just like looked at it. I don't think he did the eyebrow or a wink or something, but he timed it bang on for the beat, and it was just very surreal, but very funny. So go and check that out. That'll probably make you Sunday. Obviously, keep an eye on SummerSlam. We got loads of stuff, obviously, coming up for SummerSlam now. We've got this new stipulation with Dominic and Seth Rollins. Obviously, we've got the Orton-McIntyre match. Got all the stuff going on SmackDown. Hair versus hair. Bayley and Sasha taking on Asuka separately for the titles. There's so much. I'm really excited for SummerSlam. Let me know what you think of SummerSlam and all the rest of the news that we've talked about here today in this lovely Sunday news video. If you want to go and follow me on Twitter, please do. I'm at gmorgan04. Follow everyone here at What Culture Wrestling at What Culture WWE. And I don't think I missed anything else. Just don't forget to subscribe, like, and click on the videos and everything else. And just have a really good day. It's a Sunday. You've made it. We made it to the end of the week. It's been a struggle at times. It's been quite hot. I've worn a lot of vests. If you've seen these videos, I apologize for that. But yeah, go and have an amazing last day of the week. See you later.